it's Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel, You Got This, where I wipe away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my own personal experiences and struggles as a former patient of almost 20 years having borderline personality disorder. I talk a lot about narcissism. I talk about post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, depression, and a plethora of other mental health topics. But I only come on as a former patient. I am not a licensed therapist. I do not practice therapy. I do not hold a degree in psychology. So I cannot diagnose you or give you professional opinions. I only ask in turn for your kindness, consideration, and respect in the comments towards me, towards everyone else. We don't always have to agree, but we need to agree to show respect and kindness to one another. So if you like what you see, give it a thumbs up. If you are new to my channel, welcome, welcome. And if you like it, hit the like button. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. It's 100% free. Now, we've talked a lot about borderline personality disorder. Today, we're going to talk about narcissism. We're going to go back to that topic again. And especially how the narcissist plants their seeds in you. Okay? And no, this is not a sex topic. Not those kind of seeds. So this has happened to me many times with narcissistic psychologists, and one too many times. And I've written so many books about it and so many papers on LinkedIn. If you follow me on LinkedIn, if you read my books on Amazon, and I put the links to all the books below. And today I'm going to talk about a couple of times that my psychologist has planted the seed. Now this is where they get sneaky, these narcissists, all right? By planting the seed, they shame you into thinking that it was your idea, okay? That you're to blame. You're the one responsible when it had nothing to do with you. They planted the seed in you, especially someone of power, all right? It's really bad when you get someone of power and they're narcissistic too, and you're an unsuspecting, vulnerable patient. So, one of the times with Dr. Jeffrey Fortgang, he's the psychologist from Yale that I went to. I saw him with my other psychologist for couples therapy, Dr. James Barberia. He saw Dr. James Barberia alone too for a session. It just gets crazy. You got to read the books and watch the other videos. It would take hours and hours to get into it. So I got an email from Dr. Jeffrey Fortgang, and it said, I didn't write him, so he wasn't responding to an email I had written. He initiated this email. There's a big difference. If I write you and you write me back, you're just replying back, right? But if you write me and I haven't written you, you're initiating it. So he initiated this email and he said, while I was writing your name in my appointment book today, I thought of this song by Richie Havens, Sandy, because of course that's my name, Sandy. And, so I played it. And the song is about this couple having an affair. Now, why? Now, first of all, why is he writing me? Telling me that, he's having thoughts of, this song is coming on his head about a couple having an affair while he's writing my name, in his appointment book. That's very inappropriate. And then not only that, he gives the link in the email to the video of the song on YouTube, Sandy made me promise not to tell no one. it's obvious they're having an affair, and the woman is saying, you can't tell anyone. So what do? I get this email when I'm outside of Planet Fitness. Back when I used to go to Planet Fitness, I used to be a exercise-aholic, or whatever you want to say. I used to exercise at home and then go to the club and exercise. I mean, I was really trim and fit. So I got this email on my phone, and of course I hit the link. Obviously, he drops a link to a song that's my name, Sandy. The only Sandy song I knew before this was from Grease. Olivia Newton-John, the song that John Travolta sings, Sandy. How many of you know that song? So I play the song over and over and over again. And guess what? He, the narcissistic psychologist, planted the seed. I started thinking of him. Of course I think of him, That's exactly what he wants. A much older psychologist, right? I don't know, he was in like 70. And what was I back then? Probably 50. I don't know how long ago this was. In my early 50s. This is like a 20 years age difference, okay? So, do you know that song Sandy by Richie Havens? If you don't, do you mind if you just watch it on YouTube? Listen to it. This is the song that my psychologist was telling me, was going through his mind when he was writing my name in his, on his calendar. And of course, this is the same psychologist who was in a band, and he wrote the lyrics to Rod Stewart's famous song, Some Guys Have All the Luck. You know that song that Rod Stewart made famous, Some Guys Have All the Luck? Well, look it up. Jeffrey Fortgang was the one who wrote that. That's my psychologist. He was a musician. I mean, he went to parties with Burt Bacharach. I mean, he was, well known in the circles back then. So he planted the seed, and things were starting to get, I was starting to think of him, and that's exactly what he wanted. He wanted me to think of him, and things started heating up. We started holding each other. We almost kissed one time. I was in his house. He started playing piano and singing to me, all the things that aren't supposed to happen between a psychologist and a patient. But I'm just trying to get you to see how narcissistic people plant seeds. You know what I mean? So I started thinking of him because of that email and that song, see? Another time with Dr. Richard Geist, okay, y'all know, I've heard of him a zillion times on here. He planted the seed by, one time during the session, I'm sitting there I'm sitting on the couch, he's sitting in his shrink chair like it's supposed to be, and he comes over, gets off his chair and comes over and sits right next to me, like our legs are touching, and puts his arm around me on the couch, like we're boyfriend and girlfriend. Then he invites me to Maine on his vacation. I mean, all these things inappropriate, planting the seed, making it fertile ground for me, for my feelings to grow, into what they're not supposed to. You're not supposed to fall in love. You're not supposed to be sexual with your psychologist. But see how they plant the seed. So these are the things that you need to, be aware of. It's like, have you ever heard of the saying, like, kids in grade school, the kid that makes the spitting balls, when you used to have the paper straws? Well, they were plastic straws, but the paper, there was paper, covering the straw, the plastic straw. In grade school. If you're old enough, I don't know what they're doing now in grade school, but so you had the straw covered in paper. Well, you tear off the paper and, use the straw. Well, there's a saying that, that someone narcissistic who plants the seeds is the one that's taking that paper off the straw and making little spitballs. And they're giving it to their friend, see? And their friend puts a spitball into the straw and spits it out at people. Who's going to get in trouble? Right? The teacher didn't see his friend making the spitballs and handing them over. It's the student, it's the kid that's spitting the spitballs. So a narcissistic person is the kid, I want you to get this analogy, who makes those spitballs, all right? Hands them over to you, and you're the one getting in trouble by spitting them out through the straw. This is how a narcissistic operates. They always come clean, and you're always at fault. But this is how they plant the seed. They're so cunning and manipulative the way they do it. Just like that kid in grade school who's making these spitballs, and you're the one who got in trouble because you're spitting them out. Or just like my psychologist who's, writing me an email out of nowhere telling me, oh, thoughts of this song, Sandy, ran through my head. And then I play the song, and he tells me in the email it's about an affair. See what I'm saying? You got to watch out for these things. Or my other psychologist, Dr. Richie, same thing when he's inviting me to his summer home in Maine. When he's writing me emails, he wrote me emails on his vacation in Maine, telling me about what books to read, okay? One of the books was about a psychologist who has sex with his patient. There's that seed he's planting in my brain. There's that seed. And not only are they having sex, but they're filming the sex. Sex lies and videotapes. Yeah, it's called The Position by Meg Wolitzer. The Position by Meg Wolitzer. Look that book up. This is what my psychologist, Dr. Richard Geis, is recommending me to read. And he's writing me emails during his summer vacation about these books, which are graphic. I read it too. It's pretty graphic, sexually. It's sexually graphic. The psychologist and his patient are not only having sex, but they're filming the sex for others to watch. And this is what my psychologist is telling me. I mean, I have like 100 stories of how narcissists plant seeds in you. They don't, of course, most of them were my psychologists, but they don't have to be your psychologist, they could be anyone. They could be a friend who plants the seed in you, gives, gets you started, by they do things, they're so cunning and insidious the way they do things that, you feel like you're responsible, but they're the ones that manipulating you like you're the puppet on the strings, right? Like this. And they're above, okay? They're above, they're the ones controlling you. You're the puppet, but you're the one in front. They're hidden behind the curtain, Ever see those puppets? They're hidden like marionettes. You know what I mean? Marionettes in the string. When you have a puppet show and you only see the puppets on the string, you don't see the people that are controlling the puppets because they're always hidden. That's the narcissists, baby. They're the ones always hidden, controlling, and you're the puppet. And the audience only sees the puppet. They don't see the puppet master. They don't see the person who is manipulating, controlling the puppet. Don't you be the puppet. Okay? That's what I'm going to leave you. Don't you be the puppet for these narcissistic people. They plant the seeds. They make you think it's your idea. Okay? They blame you. They blame you, making you think that it's all on you, right? Because you're the one in front. You're the one everyone sees. But they're the ones behind, the masterminds controlling it. Don't you ever fall for it, please. I fell for it over and over again, and I'm telling you, it has ruined my life. Don't fall for it, all right? So, leave me some comments. I want to hear from some new people. Whoop. I'm going tilt-a-world here.